Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Essence show and podcast. I am so freaking excited to have you here and to have this new up-leveled energy here. Today, we're talking about a really powerful law, and it is one of the 12 universal laws known as the law of balance. So this law literally breaks down the science, the energetic science behind what the masculine and feminine energies are all about, what they have to do with you, what they have to do with your success. And I kid you not, this is such a transformational piece of wisdom for you to understand because it will shift on a subconscious level, this understanding of what these energetics mean for you. And I'm not only going to be explaining to you what the law of balance is today, but I'm actually going to be teaching you how you can use this law in your own life for your success, for your balance. Let's go. So before we dive in, let's do our little Virgo housekeeping. What I need you to know. So first things first, hit that subscribe button below. If you are listening to this show on the podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe follow button for the podcast. Leave a rating, leave a review on both of these platforms, either in the rating and review or in the comment section on YouTube. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. Once again, I say this every single time, but it is worth mentioning again. It is so valuable for you to be paying attention and sharing back with me, or even for yourself if you don't feel like posting openly, what really resonated with you. That's going to be implementing and really grounding and anchoring this information into your body. This is how you start embodying things so that when something comes up in your life where you're meant to take some kind of physical action on something, you will have this piece of wisdom, not just, having heard it somewhere, but you're going to have it literally embodied in your body because you took the information and you sat with it and you processed it and you came to some sort of aha or conclusion around it. Okay. So drop in the comments. Let me know what resonated with you, what your biggest takeaway was from today. And I mean, we're talking about the law of balance. Tell me what that looks like in your life. How are you going to use this law moving forward? Second, a really important piece of information in the description below under both the podcast episode and the YouTube video. You can go click to head over to the waitlist for the Energetic Success Studio. This is major. The Energetic Success Studio is a combination of community collective and coaching collective, and it encompasses all levels of this energetic work. So whether this is new to you, you've never touched this work before, you don't even know where you fall on the energetic scale between the masculine and the feminine, this is for you. If you've been doing this work for a while, if you've worked with me before, if you've even done one of my courses before, this is still for you because this is a beautiful, expanding, growing studio. The whole point is that there's going to be so much growth that happens. I get to expand into it. I get to keep creating information for you, keep adding to this collective space month after month, season after season. So this is literally going to be so transformational for everyone involved. This is literally the place for activating the law of balance. So if you're listening today and you're like, okay, law of balance, explain to me more. How can I do that? What does that look like in my life? What are the intricacies of the masculine and the feminine balance, et cetera, et cetera? This is going to be for you. So within the studio, you will literally be learning how to reclaim, balance, and activate basically your masculine, the sun energy, and the feminine, the moon energy. So there's this moon sun kind of theme that we've got going in the studio in order to create your custom energetic success code. So you have these energies inside of you. This is how you are meant to show up to create success. This is your unique blueprint. Most of us are looking externally, following the one size fits all approach. We are done with that here. This is going to be the space where you reclaim that and actually create your new way of working that is customized to you and your energy. So this is going to be freaking huge. The ultimate collective space for connection, deep healing, epic growth, and transformational coaching. So hit that wait list below, go sign up. You're going to get more information as soon as you sign up. So if this is sounding a little bit like there's some missing pieces, get on the wait list. I send you an email right away, and then you get more information on that. And of course, as time goes on, you'll be getting more information in general. Okay, so let's dive into the law of balance. So today we're talking about the law of balance. What is the law of balance? Like I mentioned before, the law of balance falls under the 12 universal laws. So it is literally encompassed in the energies of the world around us. How we can live with the energies are what these laws basically teach us. It's saying, okay, this is how these energies work. This is how you can harness the power of these energies for your own activation of whatever it is that you are wanting to create in your life, right? We are energetic beings. And so the energies within us and around us are going to affect us. The way we use them is going to affect the results that we get. So as much as you can, understanding how to work with these energies is really freaking powerful. So the law of balance basically states that everything in this universe, everything, every plant, every human, every pet, every animal, everything is encompassed with masculine and feminine energy. There's always going to be a mix of these two energies. And once again, I talk about this a lot, but this has nothing to do with gender. This has to do with an energetic value of the thing. So how this law manifests essentially is it creates a balance within ourselves. It creates a balance within things. And it most importantly creates a balance within the co-creation process. And essentially, whenever we're wanting to do something in this life, because that is literally what our subconscious minds are wired to do, it is to create something, to strive for the next thing. We want to have these energies in mind because they're going to be the key to actually executing and creating and receiving the thing that we want. So here's why. The masculine energy represents taking action. It represents will and persistence. It represents the structure of how we show up consistently. It represents how we plan for something and how we understand that there are certain steps that we can take. It also represents the external action. So how we are actually physically going out into the world to create something. The feminine energy represents surrender. It represents trust, patience, flow, intuition, connectiveness to our body, to our inner being, to this inner energy that gives us guidance for how we can show up externally. So just like we can't sit in like a meditative state, only being in the feminine, only sitting and saying, this is what I'm manifesting, this is what I'm visualizing, and just only holding that energy. At one point when we're holding that energy, there's going to be a motivation, a spark, an initiation, a cue to take action, to take physical action, meaning masculine energy action, okay? So when we think about that, what comes up is this balance in the co-creation process. So exactly like I just said, the same way that we can't just sit on our couch and visualize the thing that we want to create, we also can't just be in the physical action taking energy. And this is where I see so many of us getting caught up. So many of my clients, this is where I used to get caught up all the time. I still have to come back and remind myself of this from time to time because society or patriarchal world culture has taught us that action is only in the external. And this is masculine-based energy action, okay? So we're very much in our masculine energies with how we are taught to show up and take action. Therefore, we're kind of suppressing and pushing the feminine energy to the side, right? So in doing so, when we push the feminine energy to the side, that's what we're literally talking about here. That's why this work is so important. That's why I talk about reclaiming the inner feminine energies, because we have learned to reject them. We have been taught that they are less valuable. So to flip the switch and to say, okay, just as I can't sit on the couch and just visualize what it is that I want, I also can't just be taking action if it's from a place of pushing and forcing that isn't necessarily aligned. So let me explain that. When we push and only pursue something from a place of hard work, willpower, and this energy of like, I need to make it happen, that's not going to bring us success. That's not going to bring you success. It might bring you some success, but it's always going to come with a feeling of it's not enough, or an energy of like, oh, this is the result, like it doesn't feel good in the end. There's always going to be something else attached to it. Exactly with the other side of the equation, pure surrender, pure trust isn't going to bring you success either, right? So we need both of these energies to co-create. We need to be able to reactivate this inner feminine energy, this place of, okay, I can learn to let go of my grip of control. I can let go of the very forceful, aggressive, wounded ways in which I'm enacting my masculine energy and come back to being more in flow, to trusting the process, to surrendering. I understand when I'm in this energy that downloads and intuition and guidance can't come through to me when I'm constantly in a state of pushing and forcing. It's like I'm putting on noise canceling headphones, right? So essentially, the law of balance, in short, states that we need to be in a balanced state between the masculine and the feminine energies in order to co-create together. Okay. So this isn't even just saying, I mean, it is saying that this is creating balance in your own life, just from a general state of like you feeling at peace and at ease in your life. But more so, it's actually about how are you co-creating? How are you creating success in your life? How are you going after the things that you want? How are you bringing the results that you desire back into your life and actually receiving them? This is why we need both of these energies. Okay, so now let's talk about how do you use this law of balance? How do you activate it for yourself in your own life? Because it's one thing to understand this conceptually, and it's another thing to then start integrating it and embodying it. So the first thing to understand is that your energetic balance, your balance between your inner feminine energy and your inner masculine energy, is unique to you. So someone might have a balance where they naturally really just need a little bit more of the feminine energy, or they're naturally more in their feminine energy, and the masculine has a different balance. So it doesn't necessarily need to be 50-50. The thing to understand, though, is when there is an unhealthy imbalance. Okay. So most of us, from what we've been taught in our conditioning through how we are taught to strive and create success, is we have been taught to show up in too much unbalanced, unhealthy masculine energy, which again comes from the beliefs around I need to work really, really hard to be successful. Pure hard work is the only way I'm going to be successful. It's not going to be fun. It has to be serious. Fun won't bring me success that I want. Resting isn't going to bring me success that I want. It's not, I'm not allowed to rest. So I need to push through, and resting is really just a reward that I get on the end. These are all just belief systems, right? These are all just things that we have been taught and conditioned. So if you're nodding your head yes, and you're like, but it's true. Think about that. It is just a belief. And the more you continue to repeat this belief, the more it's going to be true in your life. So because most of us have activated an imbalanced, unhealthy masculine simply because of how we've been conditioned to show up, that generally means that the first step to really activating this law of balance is going to be reclaiming your inner feminine energy. So starting to reconnect with her, because again, if we've rejected her and we've learned that that part of us isn't as valuable as this masculine energy, then we're gonna learn to push it to the side, right? So the first step of really activating the law of balance for yourself is starting to reclaim your inner feminine energy. When we're too much in the masculine, I just want to add this really quickly. This is when we start taking action from a place of pressure, from a place of forcing, and understanding how to activate the law of balance and move into reclaiming the feminine and finding your own unique balance between these two energies within yourself is really the key to healing and avoiding burnout, as well as attachment to needing to have things happen. Because as soon as we need things to happen, we are again attaching to an unhealthy masculine energy, which is I need to prove myself or get validation, some form of external recognition from doing this work. That's why so many of us connect on a subconscious level, maybe not consciously, our worth to our work. Maybe you're doing that. You think, okay, well, my work is as much like it shows me how worthy I am, how much praise I get, how well I do in my work. Whether I get that promotion, that means something about me. So really what the question is here is, where am I? This is for you to ask yourself, where am I on this energetic scale? Am I more in this unhealthy masculine way of working, or am I potentially in a feminine imbalance as well? Because sometimes we can have that too, where you might be really flighty, really flowy. You can't stick to a schedule. You're actually rejecting any form of schedule or structure. It like freaks you out a little bit. You want to just be free and like do whatever you want whenever you want to do it. Do you see how like being on either side of those energies, only in one or the other, is going to create an imbalance? This is the whole point of the law of balance, that we need to have this co-creation process with both of these energies. So the first step, again, understanding where you are on this scale, whether there are imbalances, how are those coming up, and then starting to learn what your unique balance is. And the coolest thing about the law of balance is that basically when we talk about the energetics of masculine and feminine here in this space, the way that I've learned to work with it, and what I think is, this is what I think is so freaking cool, is that it really gives you a blueprint for how you are meant to show up. So instead of being in this space, which most of us are in, where we're constantly looking externally, again, I can raise my hand for that, for validation, for structure, for recognition, or for confirmation that the way that we're showing up is the right thing to be doing. I mean, we hear about this all the time. No one truly knows what they're talking about. No one truly knows what they're doing. We're all just in this process of figuring it out for ourselves. What feels best for you? What is aligned for you? That's why this whole concept of judgment, for the most part, like, we don't know what someone else is going through. We don't know what their experience is like. So for us to externally say, here's the box, fit into it, please, it doesn't actually make any sense. So this is really an interesting, kind of reclamation of the words masculine and feminine as well, because this is about you creating your own energetics code for yourself. What do you need in order to be successful? How do you need to show up in order to have sustainable balance and sustainable success? And that is really the point of how you're meant to be activating this law of balance, is starting to work with these two energies and see how they show up in your life, and how you are being called to either balance out between the two of them, or implement potentially more structure, more freedom, more rest, more pleasure. And there's so much to go into here, but this is really just a short overview of what the law of balance can look like. So I'm going to leave you with that for now. Lots of information, process it, sit with it. Let me know in the comments or in the ratings and reviews, if you're listening to the podcast, what your biggest takeaway was. What resonated with you the most about this concept and the law of balance? Have you heard of it before? Have you been interacting with it? What does that look like in your life if you have been interacting with it? And is there potentially something that you would like to activate more of, or a way that you would like to tie this into work or relationships or your success or the goals that you're working towards manifesting into your life right now? Let me know. I want to celebrate you. I want to support you. I want to hear from you. Final thing, make sure you hit that link in the description below to come and check out the waitlist for the Energetic Success Studio. This is, like I said, I'm so pumped about this. This is going to be such an incredible place for us to come together, for you to grow and expand in this work. If the law of balance is something that's speaking to you right now, and you want to understand it more, and you want to actually have the tools to activate it in your life, and the support system and the community to really implement it and be able to live in your own energetic success code, as we call it. That is what the law of balance looks like for you. When we activate what your specific code looks like, the studio is perfect for you. So make sure you get on that wait list. There's zero pressure. It's going to just give you so much more information and insight as to what you're actually getting. So I highly encourage it. And that is all from me. I will see you back here next Wednesday. Until then.